In this short video, I would like to show you how you can solve the same problem using different tools in Shell. So let's begin with where we left yesterday. So what we had yesterday was base name, this URL, and we know we were trying to use tr minus d dot get, and we were expecting we would get repo -2 dot get, but we were getting repo -wo dot get. You see that? And it's behaving as expected because what tr minus d does is it goes and deletes each and every element from the returned string. So if you see repo2 dot get, it will definitely remove dot get from here, but it will also remove t because t is one of the elements of that. Okay, so tr minus d is definitely not what we want to use. So let's see if it's tr minus d not what we want to use. Then what we could do is we could actually use base name itself. So base name has a second argument, which is suffix. So if I just do this, it gives me repo-2 dot get. But if I pass a suffix, I can tell it what needs to be removed from the string that is returned. So that's what we needed. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. The second way of doing it is if I do not want to use the suffix, I could use awk. So awk is a very powerful command. This is just a simplistic way of using awk. You might want to spend a little more time with it. Awk minus f. By default, it is space. We want to change it to dot get. Okay. So what we're saying is with this string that is sent out, do a search for dot get. So it will search for dot get, and we want to return the first element. There's no first element to this one over here. If you remove, let's look at it this way, right? If this is the string that is returned, and if you're searching for this, the splitter, right? The first element is repo2. Print $1. $1 is the first one. There you go. Same thing you can solve with sed command. Sed s is search and replace. Search for what? Dot get. But dot is a special character in regular expression, which we already seen. So I'll put escape character over here because I want to search for literal dot and slash. I don't want to replace, I want to remove everything when it finds dot get. So I'm not adding anything in between here. If I wanted to change it with dot fit, I would have done something like this. Okay, but I don't want to have anything. I want it to be blank. That's why I'm leaving it as empty there. That also is giving me the same thing. Now I could use cut command. Cut also is a very powerful command. So cut minus d. I want to cut on dot. So when you do cut, you can only cut by a single expression, okay, a single character. I cannot put dot get over there. So when you cut by dot, the first field will be repo2 and the second field will be get. Okay. There. Perfect. So you have seen how we can use different commands to solve the same problem. Okay. Now let's look at something else over here. Script, and inside script I have test.sh. So do a nano test.sh. Let's look at what $0 really gives me. Okay. So I'll come out of here. I'll go a level back just so it makes a little easier for you to understand. And I would run it as script test.sh. So if you see, it gives me the path from where the script has been executed. Since I'm a level out, like this is the same path. You see that? If I go inside script, And if I run test.sh, it will give me the path from where I have executed test.sh. So now let's do something more useful. So if I do a nano test.sh, and I'll comment this one out, and we'll look at two fundamental concepts. One concept is dollar hash. Dollar hash gives me how many arguments I have passed, and dollar at the rate, which we've already seen before, gives me all the arguments that have been passed. So it's an array basically. Okay, so I'll exit from here and clear. I'll not pass any argument. I'm passing 0 argument. So it's saying no arguments provided. Next, I'll pass hello, and I'll pass, it says arguments provided, and it is returning me all the arguments that have been provided. Next, let's look at parameter expansion. I will comment this out. I'll declare a new variable called greet and call it as good morning. If I do echo dollar greet, no surprises, you expect to see good morning, right? Great. But let's do something else. Let's change this to greet me. Now what do you expect? A null? Yes, it is. Now, let's say if it is null, I want to return good afternoon as a default value. It is not returning, and I know why. Because the format is not colon, you have to put a minus. There you go. Good afternoon. There's a variation to it which says plus, but before I do plus, I want to show you something. I will comment this out for you just to keep it clear, and I will do an echo of dollar greet me again. Well, let's change this to greet because I've already commented this out, and I'll call it as greet. What do you expect? Do you expect to see good afternoon over here? Well, you're in for a surprise. There's nothing, right? This good afternoon is from the previous one. So if I do a cat of test.sh, this is the good afternoon that you're seeing from the previous one. And for this one, there's nothing. Okay? So what I will do is I'll just do a small change to that script. And instead of plus, instead of minus, I'll put a plus. And then run it. Something wrong. Try this. No. Okay, let's spend some time with this. Okay, it's not plus, but equals. When we want to print a default value, and we also want to assign this default value to variable called greet. So we are supposed to see good afternoon twice. So let me clear the screen and run here. So that's what good afternoon is. Let's go back to test.sh. And now let's say we have greet over here. What do you expect to see? You expect to see good morning because your default value will not be assigned. And when we say greet again over here, you'll see good morning. So let's prove that is true. And indeed it is true. Now let's go ahead and do one thing. If instead of this equal sign, if I use plus, Minus was if its variable is blank, assign this value to the variable. Okay. Equals was, well, it was not assigned value when you use minus. It says just assume the variable value is this. But if you use equals, it says if this value is null, assign this value to this variable. So you have good afternoon printed twice. But if I say plus, what it says is if this variable is not null. So right now I have uncommented this. So it is not null. If it's not null, print good afternoon. That's what it says. Okay, it doesn't assign the value as far as I know, but we'll figure out. If it prints twice, you know it assigns value. But you see here it doesn't. The first one printed good afternoon, and the second one, because it was not null, it printed good morning. Right, we will see 3 more concepts over here. Let me go ahead and out, or maybe I'll do clean up everything. I'm expecting a variable to be sent to this, and that variable is greet. Okay, the parameter is greet. So let's do this. Greet equals to $1. Okay, let's test this real quick. Nothing is there, right? And I'll say good. If I don't wrap it in double quote, it becomes 2 variables, first parameter and second parameter. So I've wrapped it in a double quote over here. Wait out. So echo. Nothing. And then let's go ahead and run the good morning. So good morning. So it is expecting as expected. Let's go ahead and what if this value is not passed? This comes as blank, right? So let's say it's a mandatory field. We want to treat it as a mandatory field. So what you can do is you can say greet is required. So you don't have to do any check below here. If it is not passed, there will be an exception thrown or error thrown. So I'm not passing any variable. It says greet is required. I'm passing hello. It prints hello. Okay. So if you want to do a mandatory parameter check, you can use this form, question mark, and then the arrow that you want to throw. All right. 2 more things you will see, or rather 3. So what I want to do here is I want, let's say, a version to be given to me. We haven't not seen yet snapshot versions in Maven, but we will see very soon. Say echo version. I'll come out from here. First of all, let's test this and say 1.0.0 hyphen snapshot. So it does print. So the concept that I wanted to show you is if I wanted to remove hyphen snapshot, okay, and print the value. You see it was printing 100 snapshot over here, right? Version is required. So let's bring that on. And now you see it's returning 100. Why is it returning 100? Because we have added percentage hyphen snapshot. See, we said remove the shortest match of hyphen snapshot. There's only one match of snapshot. So it has removed hyphen snapshot from this string. What if we wanted to remove 100 at the start of this? Let's see. Hash instead of percentage hash 0. See how snapshot is written for the string 100 snapshot. The last thing what I want to show you is I want to put a variable over here. Let's say first name is Samir, last name is Sheikh. Or we will take the example which I have given over here directly, so we don't have to type a lot of things. So first name is John, last name is Doe, name variable is first name, so there's a variable I'm keeping this, okay? And over here, the important piece is over here. If you see this exclamation, if I don't put this exclamation, you already know what it will print. It will print first name because that's the variable value. But what we are saying is we do not want the variable value. We want the value of the variable's value. So this variable's value is first name. There should be a variable called first name. I want that value. So it should return John. It's a very powerful expression over here, and we do use it in real world. So if you say it's returning John. Okay, that kind of concludes everything that I wanted to show you. I hope you liked it, and please do refer to DevOps 2024 README file for more details, and then you can try and practice everything else that I haven't covered.